When people hear the idea of resetting their body in just 5 days without food, it might sound extreme or even impossible. But the truth is that the human body was designed with the remarkable ability to heal, repair, and restore itself when it is given the right environment. What most people don't realize is that going without food for a period of time is not a punishment to the body. It is one of the most powerful tools for renewal that nature has given us. In fact, fasting is not about deprivation. It's about allowing the body to finally take a break from digestion and redirect its energy toward deep repair. The first key principle to understand is that when you go 5 days without eating, you are switching from the mode of constant food processing to a completely different metabolic state. Normally, most people live in a sugar-burning state. They eat frequently, they snack between meals, and as a result, the body is constantly burning glucose. But when you remove food entirely, your body has no choice but to switch over to its built-in fuel reserves, stored fat. This is when the magic begins. By tapping into fat as fuel, the body generates ketones, which are not just an alternative energy source, but also a clean, efficient, and therapeutic fuel. Ketones reduce inflammation, they protect the brain, and they help regulate pathways that are directly linked to longevity. So in those 5 days without food, your body isn't starving. It's thriving on its natural energy reserves, and in doing so, it begins to reset itself on the cellular level. Now, the second key point is the process called autophagy, which literally means self-eating. This is not something that happens when you eat frequently or even when you do short-term fasting. It really begins to kick in after extended periods without food, especially around the 3 to 5 day mark. Autophagy is the body's built-in recycling program. Old damaged cells, their dysfunctional proteins, and cellular debris get broken down and repurposed into raw materials that can be used to build new, healthier cells. You'll imagine your body as a house that's been cluttered for years. Extended fasting is like a professional cleaning crew coming in, throwing out all the junk, repairing what's broken, and leaving behind a space that feels brand new. This process is critical not only for slowing down the aging process, but also for preventing many of the chronic conditions that plague modern society. By the 5th day of fasting, autophagy has gone into overdrive, and your body emerges from the process more efficient, more youthful, and more resilient. So, resetting your body in just 5 days without food is not about suffering or deprivation. It is about giving your body the chance to do what it was designed to do. By shifting into fat burning mode and activating autophagy, you're essentially hitting the reset button on your health. You're clearing away years of accumulated damage, lowering inflammation, and setting the foundation for a healthier, more energetic future. When we talk about the idea of resetting your body in 5 days with zero food, the first and most important principle is understanding what happens when the body shifts from sugar burning to fat burning. Most people in today's world have conditioned their bodies to rely on glucose as the main source of energy. Every time you eat bread, pasta, rice, sugary snacks, or even frequent meals that contain carbohydrates, your body spikes insulin and pulls energy from that glucose. This constant cycle of eating every few hours keeps your body locked in a state where it never needs to access stored fat. The problem with that is not just the accumulation of excess weight, but also the strain it puts on your metabolism, your hormones, and your long-term health. Insulin, the hormone that manages blood sugar, stays chronically elevated, and that prevents fat burning while also promoting inflammation and energy crashes. So when you stop eating completely, you're breaking that cycle and forcing your body to use a different fuel system, one that is built into your biology and has existed since the beginning of humanity. After about 12 to 24 hours without food, your glycogen reserves, which are the small stores of glucose in the liver and muscles, begin to run out. Once those reserves are depleted, the body is faced with a choice: either it will break down muscle for energy, or it will transition to using fat as fuel. And because the human body is incredibly intelligent, it prioritizes fat. The fat stored on your body is not useless weight, it is potential energy that your system has been saving for exactly these kinds of fasting conditions. This is when you enter fat burning mode. As fat is broken down, the liver begins to produce ketones, which are molecules that serve as an alternative fuel source, not only for the muscles but also for the brain. This is a critical point because most people believe the brain requires sugar to function, but the truth is the brain thrives on ketones. In fact, ketones are a much cleaner and more efficient fuel, generating less oxidative stress and fewer free radicals compared to glucose metabolism. That means when you are burning fat and producing ketones, your cells are literally under less stress and less damage, which directly influences how youthful and resilient they remain. The production of ketones also has a profound effect on reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the underlying drivers of nearly every modern disease, from heart disease to diabetes to neurodegenerative conditions. Ketones act like a signal to calm down these inflammatory pathways, giving your body a break from the constant immune system overdrive that happens when you are eating all day and spiking insulin repeatedly. Think of it as a reset switch for your internal fire, Instead of burning wildly out of control, the inflammation is dialed down and your tissues are allowed to repair. This is one of the reasons people report less joint pain, more mental clarity, and even improvements in mood after a period of fasting. Their bodies are no longer being bombarded with the constant burden of food-related stress and are instead being nourished by this natural, therapeutic fuel. Another incredible aspect of this fat-burning state is the impact on longevity. Studies have shown that ketones help regulate certain genetic pathways that are connected to lifespan. Specifically, ketones influence sirtuins and AMPK2 pathways that are critical for cellular repair and energy efficiency. When these pathways are activated, your cells become better at repairing DNA damage, cleaning up faulty proteins, and maintaining mitochondrial health. Mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside each cell, thrive when fueled by ketones. And since mitochondrial dysfunction is at the root of aging and many chronic illnesses, this shift has profound benefits. By spending just a few days in fat-burning mode, you're essentially giving your cells a tune-up that can improve how they function for weeks or even months afterward. It's also worth noting how the shift to fat burning affects energy and mental performance. At the beginning of a fast, people may feel tired or sluggish because their bodies are still craving glucose. But once the transition is made and ketones are flowing, the energy becomes steady and reliable. Unlike sugar, which spikes and crashes, ketones provide a stable fuel that keeps you going without the roller coaster of fatigue and cravings. Many people describe this state as having a sharpness of mind, a sense of calm focus, and a surprising amount of energy despite not eating. That's because the brain loves ketones and operates with greater efficiency on them. This is one of the reasons fasting has been shown to support cognitive function and protect against brain-related conditions. Now, some might think that 5 days without food would leave you weak, but the opposite often occurs once you are fully adapted to fat burning. Your body is carrying tens of thousands of calories in stored fat, even if you are not overweight, and that reserve is more than enough to fuel you through the fasting period. Instead of breaking you down, the fasting process builds you up by strengthening your resilience, balancing your hormones, and stabilizing your metabolism. Insulin levels drop, which is a huge benefit because chronically high insulin is tied to obesity, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, and even some forms of cancer. Lower insulin allows your body to not only burn fat, but also heal from years of metabolic strain. Blood sugar stabilizes, cravings diminish, and your body learns how to operate in a way that is much closer to its natural design. During those 5 days, the fat-burning process also works hand in hand with other metabolic benefits, such as the increase in human growth hormone. Growth hormone spikes significantly during extended fasting, and this hormone is essential for preserving lean muscle mass, burning fat, and repairing tissues. This means that while your body is breaking down fat for fuel, it is at the same time preserving and protecting muscle, which is the opposite of what most people fear about not eating. Instead of wasting away, you are entering a state where your body intelligently prioritizes fat as the energy source while safeguarding the structures you actually need for strength and vitality. The key takeaway here is that shifting into fat-burning mode is not just about weight loss, although that often happens. It is about creating an internal environment that promotes healing, reduces inflammation, enhances brain function, and sets the stage for long-term health. In just 5 days of zero food, you are essentially teaching your body to remember how to use the fuel it was always meant to rely on. This is the first step to a true body reset, one that is deeper than any diet or quick fix could ever provide. When you embrace this process, you are not depriving yourself. You are allowing your body to access its most powerful healing state, one that has been locked away under years of constant eating and sugar dependency. This is why the shift from sugar burning to fat burning is the foundation of a 5-day reset. It is a complete metabolic transformation that not only fuels your body in a cleaner and more efficient way, but also sets off a cascade of positive effects that touch every system in your body. It is the doorway to renewal, longevity, and optimal health, and it all begins the moment you stop eating and allow your body to do what it was designed to do. When we look at the power of resetting the body in 5 days with zero food, one of the most profound processes that takes place is something called autophagy. This is a natural and built-in system within your body that is activated primarily when you are not eating. The word itself means self-eating, but not in a destructive way. It is the body's way of cleaning up the trash that has accumulated over years of constant eating, stress, and exposure to toxins. Think of autophagy as the ultimate recycling program where old, damaged, and dysfunctional parts of cells are broken down and repurposed into new building materials that can be used to create stronger, healthier cells. When you give your body 5 days of fasting, this process ramps up significantly, and it becomes one of the most powerful ways your body resets itself on the deepest level. Normally, when people eat frequently, autophagy stays suppressed. Insulin levels are elevated, nutrients are constantly coming in, and the body has no reason to initiate cleanup. It's similar to a household where the garbage man never comes because people keep piling more and more bags of waste on the curb. Over time, that waste starts to rot, attract pests, and create an unhealthy environment. The same happens in your body with damaged proteins, broken DNA, malfunctioning mitochondria, and old cells that are no longer doing their job properly. Without autophagy, this internal clutter builds up, contributing to aging, fatigue, and disease. But during a prolonged fast, around the 3 to 5 day mark, the body realizes that no external nutrients are coming in, so it shifts gears. Instead of building with new resources, it begins scavenging the old and broken materials inside itself, breaking them down and recycling them to survive. This is not only efficient, but also life-extending. The benefits of autophagy extend into almost every area of health. One of the most important is the way it slows down aging. Aging is not simply about the passing of years, it is about the accumulation of damaged cells and proteins that no longer function well. When autophagy is active, these damaged components are cleared away, which allows your cells to function as if they were younger. It's like renovating an old building by replacing faulty wiring, cleaning out rusted pipes, and repairing the foundation. The structure looks and operates much better once the repairs are complete. People who experience extended fasting often report clearer skin, brighter eyes, and a general sense of vitality that comes from this deep internal renewal. Autophagy also plays a major role in protecting the body from disease. Many chronic illnesses are linked to the accumulation of misfolded proteins, oxidative stress, and malfunctioning cells. For example, in conditions like Alzheimer's disease, certain proteins such as beta amyloid build up and interfere with brain function. In cancer, cells grow uncontrollably because the body fails to eliminate them when they become damaged or mutated. Autophagy acts as a safeguard, identifying these faulty elements and breaking them down before they can cause long-term harm. This is why fasting has been studied for its protective effects on the brain, its ability to support immune function, and its potential in reducing the risk of certain cancers. When you fast for 5 days, you are giving your body time to perform this deep cleaning process, lowering the burden of cellular waste that could otherwise lead to disease. Another remarkable effect of autophagy is how it enhances the immune system. During fasting, old and worn out white blood cells are broken down and recycled. This might seem counterproductive at first, but what actually happens is that the body clears out these ineffective immune cells and once eating resumes, stimulates the production of brand new, highly efficient immune cells. It's like retiring old soldiers who can no longer fight well and recruiting fresh, strong replacements. After a fasting period, your immune system often emerges stronger, sharper, and more capable of defending you against infections and other threats. In just 5 days, you can give your immune system a powerful reset that supports your long-term health and resilience. On a cellular level, autophagy also supports energy efficiency. Cells are powered by mitochondria, and over time, these tiny energy factories can become damaged and less effective. When autophagy is activated, it specifically targets broken mitochondria for removal, which allows the body to replace them with newer, more efficient versions. This process is called mitophagy. As a result, your energy production improves, your fatigue decreases, and your body becomes more capable of handling stress. It is no coincidence that people who go through fasting often describe feeling lighter, more energetic, and mentally sharper. Their cells are literally operating more efficiently because the outdated machinery has been replaced. Autophagy also has an incredible impact on inflammation. Inflammation is often fueled by damaged cells and toxic proteins circulating in the body. By cleaning out these harmful elements, autophagy reduces the triggers that keep inflammation active. This is why fasting can help with conditions like arthritis, allergies, and other inflammatory disorders. The body calms down, the immune system is less reactive, and tissues are able to heal in an environment that is no longer flooded with constant inflammatory signals. In just a few days, the relief can be noticeable, and over time, the benefits compound. It's also important to note the psychological benefits that come with this process. When people engage in a 5-day fast and allow autophagy to fully activate, they often experience a shift in perspective. They see their bodies in a new way, realizing that true health does not come from constant consumption, but from cycles of giving the body rest and space to repair. There is a mental clarity that comes when the body is no longer bogged down by food processing and cellular waste. This clarity often leads to better decision-making, improved focus, and a greater sense of connection with one's health journey. It is not just a physical reset, it is a mental and emotional one as well. One of the most fascinating aspects of autophagy is how it demonstrates the intelligence of the human body. Without any medication, without any supplements, the body has the ability to heal itself when given the right conditions. All that is required is time without food. The body knows which cells are faulty, which proteins are harmful, and which structures need to be replaced. It acts with precision, conserving resources while simultaneously improving function. This is a reminder that health is not always about adding more, but often about taking away what is unnecessary and allowing the body's natural design to do its work. By the end of a 5-day fast, autophagy has worked at a level that most people have never experienced in their entire lives because our modern eating patterns rarely allow for it. Constant snacking, frequent meals, cellular, and processed foods keep this vital process shut down. But once it is activated, the benefits ripple throughout the body, from slowing aging to protecting the brain, strengthening the immune system, improving energy, and reducing inflammation. This is why autophagy is one of the most important reasons why a 5-day fast can completely reset your body. The takeaway is simple but powerful. When you stop eating and give your body 5 days of complete rest from food, you activate a system of renewal that modern science is only beginning to fully understand. Autophagy is your body's way of healing itself from the inside out, clearing away years of accumulated damage and setting you up for a healthier, more vibrant future. This is not deprivation, this is transformation. It is a gift you give yourself by allowing your body to do what it was designed to do: heal, repair, and thrive.